What's up, guys? This video is going to be about locked and loaded, and I don't know about a lot of you, but when I first saw this revealed in the Kombat cast and they were saying, you know, this version 3 is coming out, and for Erron Black they showed locked and loaded and this had his trap coming back, and I instantly was like, wow, this is going to be hype. You're going to be able to do all kinds of crazy setups. It's going to be similar to Hunter Predator from MKX, which was also a very hype variation, but then we got our hands on it and the trap is god-awful slow. It is just takes forever to get out. In most of the matchups you can barely get it out without getting hit by something, and it doesn't really mesh well with Erron Black's kit, because Erron Black, most of his main good strings like back 222 are full combo punisher on block, and his other variations don't have to deal with this, because in the first variation he can make that string safe by doing scud shot, and in his second variation he can make it safe by doing his slide cancels. But in this variation you're just kind of your best tools are going to be left vulnerable for your opponent to punish, or you're going to have to do risky things like go into his back forward 1 in this variation and things like that. So this variation is considered to be a bottom 10 variation in the game. You can win with it if you're better than the person you're playing, but overall it is there's pretty much no reason to use it over his other two variations. Now what I would like to see improved about this variation is the only thing that needs to get touched on is just a trap. This is the only thing this variation needs improved with. They need to make the trap more dynamic, and they need to add more depth to it regarding this variation. Now there's two ways enters can do this. So normally how the trap functions is this. Erron Black enters this low profiling stance and puts down his trap. It has a lot of startup and a lot of recovery, which is fine for the most part. I mean, you could read a projectile, put out a trap like that. The issue is no one's really going to be throwing one single projectile like that. When you're getting zoned out, they're going to be repeatedly throwing out projectiles and doing stuff after. So then when you try to do the same thing, you can see that you get punished instantly when Katana starts throwing more than one fan. This is the issue in a lot of matchups. So normally the trap is fine. It doesn't have to be a lot faster in recovery. They want to keep it this way, it's fine. What I propose NRS should do is give him another meter burn part. Now normally when you meter burn this move, when you meter burn it, Erron Black will kick the trap at your opponent, and it's got a lot of startup, a lot of recovery. It's very unsafe on block. Now what I think NRS should do is implement a new option out of this, and the new way to do this would be you hold down and press meter burn, and when you hold down and press meter burn, it would consume one defensive bar. And what Erron Black would do is basically he would get down, put the trap, and then he would do the meter burn animation, and then he would recover while he's in crouch state. So that way when someone's spamming projectiles, you could do trap, meter burn, and then instead of him kicking it, he could just recover in crouch state, and then now you have a scenario where the trap is out, and because you use a defensive bar to recover quicker in crouch, now you have the trap out and you're still able to evade projectiles, and now for bar of meter you're able to continue the match, and now there's a trap on the field which Erron Black just placed. So that's one thing I would like NRS to do, is to give him a defensive meter burn option where you can put the trap out, then recover quicker and recover while he's crouching and not kicking the trap at you. So that's the first one. The second thing I think they should do is when Erron Black puts the trap out and he kicks it at your opponent, instead of the trap being kicked at your opponent and then it makes contact and goes away like that, they should make this trap a 2-hitting attack for block only. So when you hit your opponent with it, if they're not blocking and it hits like that, they'll have their foot stuck in the trap and then you get a combo. But this would be completely changed if they were to block this. So let's say Katana's blocking, right, and I kick it, the trap would not go away like that. The trap would get kicked, it would slide past Katana, and then it would be behind her still active. So a way to set this up is, let's say like this, right? The trap goes through, pretend Katana's right in front of me. She blocks the trap being kicked at me, it slides past her body, and then it ends up being right behind her. So this would give Erron Black a way to set up his trap behind the opponent and then give him ways to do things. Now you wouldn't really want to set this up close like this, because Erron Black would of course, you know, be stuck in his kick recovery animation, and even though the trap would slide behind them, if you get hit in this variation with the trap out, it goes away on hit. So it wouldn't be smart to do it like that. But what you could do is you could do a setup. You could hit your opponent and have them block something, like do like a setup like this, right? The trap gets kicked, they come in contact with it as they're rising, it'll go behind them, and now you have a new way to get the trap out. That's one feature I think that they should look into giving the trap, is making it a 2-hitting functioning move on block, where it'll pass through them and then it'll stay active behind them for a bit. And the third final change that I think they need to do for this trap to make it a complete variation is this. So you see how Erron Black, when he does his kick animation, like he'll just kick the trap like that and he'll flash. What I want Erron to do is this. If you have the trap out like this, and then if you go next to it, if you press the trap input again, which is down back 4, down back 4 is to put the trap out. If you were to input down back 4 again when you're next to the trap like this, Erron Black would all of a sudden enter his kick animation for 1 bar of offensive meter. So what this could do is this. You put the trap down, you're playing around it, ducking, then you go next to it, and then you do down back 4, and that would trigger the meter burn flash, and Erron Black would kick you. So this would give Erron Black the option to, at will, if he's next to the trap, kick the trap at you for a bar of offensive meter, which would add a ton of layers to what he could do. And if you go back to what I said in the beginning of this video, being able to put down a trap and meter burn it to recover quicker for 1 defensive bar, and you recover in crouching, now you have the trap out that way against some zoning, and now for another bar of offensive meter, you can choose to kick it at your opponent. And if they were to consider doing like a few things like this for this trap variation, it would add so much depth to him. The mind games, the setups, the way you could play and approach certain matchups, it would add so much to this character, and it would make the variation so much more fun to play. And it wouldn't be buffed in a brain dead way, because all of these ideas wouldn't be free, you know? It wouldn't just be, oh, you make his trap better normally and that's it, you just cut the frame data. All of these ideas would be attached to meter, so the player would have to know, okay, when do I want to use the meter to recover out of crouch, when my opponent is throwing a projectile, when do I want to use my meter when I have the trap out to kick it to my opponent, and when do I want to like set up something where I could do like a meaty trap that slides through, they block it, and then it ends up going behind them, and now there's this situation where there's a trap in play. So this is my idea on what they could do for Locked and Loaded. I do hope this variation in the future does get a few touches to it, because like I said, this variation has so much potential to be a great and fun variation for Erron Black. And because Erron Black is a trap character, there's not too many characters like that in this game. I mean, we got Frost, we got Devore, we got Sub-Zero, but overall there's not like a bunch of trap characters to choose from. So it would be awesome if they could look at this variation and make this variation good for Erron Black in the future, and possibly give it as a toolkit for players who like trap types to maybe look at and check out and see if it fits them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.